Everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Am I Doing This Wrong? A very special episode of Am I Doing This Wrong, I should say. New topic as always, but it's not just these two gals this week. We have a very special guest. Ely Thorel is joining us today. Hello, Ely. How are you?
Good. How are you? I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yay! Thank you for joining us. We are so excited. Yeah, get your yays in, Ryann.
I know.
A lot of yays, a lot of fun.
I know.
Some sound effects. You guys know we like to add those in once in a while. So we'll see. We'll see.
I know. We're going to get real fancy for our first guest. And not just any guest, you know, this wasn't random. We weren't just putting names in a hat and grabbing. We were really being strategic because Ely is not only one of my favorite people, but let's not get too sentimental. We know we can go on for hours. Having us all in a room is dangerous. Like yes. Ely, you've met Morgan on a few occasions, right?
Yes, a few occasions.
Yes. Okay. But never like in our heyday, like never in our like prime of like going out, having in-depth conversations, like just really laying.
The most I've seen Morgan hold was a White Claw, I'm pretty sure. And I made her drink in my house once or twice. But other than that, yeah, I haven't seen like the full-fledged Morgan, and I'm still very curious as to that. Because I've been listening to this podcast, and I've been like,
I know. Yeah, I wasn't there for you guys' WeHo days. I was out in Arizona getting into my own messes. So anyway.
Don't let it fool you. We were messes too back then.
Right. Yeah, us in WeHo is a mess. That's just a mess. But both of these people are so special to me. Morgan, I have known for so long. We've made it through everything together. And Ely kind of came in on the latter years of my 20s, which I was like really surprised. We were kind of both really surprised that we like
Where we like hit it off instantly. Like we literally were obsessed with each other the night we went out. And yeah, I think it's just, I don't know, we've grown so close. We've grown like so close.
That's true.
And I feel like we've also grown together. That's the biggest thing. We both like kind of found ourselves, and as we were able to like kind of like bounce off of each other. So I think that's where it came from.
Right. You're right. No, that is true. We had an instant connection for sure. And that was great because Jose was like introducing us into new friends. And I was like, Jose, like we do our thing. I don't know how well this is going to go over, but it went over great. But no, I mean, I was surprised that you stuck around. Like you were actually, you and Drew weren't just WeHo friends. Like you're right. We met each other. I was kind of like, you know, towards the end of my partying days, not to say I don't party anymore, but I ended up meeting somebody really serious. Like while I was knowing you, he is still around. Hint, hint.
I love
What's his name again?
I know that Ben guy. Yeah. But no, so it was surprising that like how many years later, right? We're like still here, still thriving. And I love it. And so
I got to watch you get engaged, which is so amazing. Like so honestly, that was a stressful day for me and Drew because we were late. And we were supposed to be there really early, and Drew was doing like 110 on the like freeway because he was like, "Are we shaving any time?" I'm like, 2 minutes, keep going. So I was really glad I was able to see that and experience that with you. And yeah, I just feel like I love like how we all three of us are like connected by you, but it's like we all share like that same bond, and like it's just nice.
Yes, exactly.
I know, that's true. When I finally met Drew and Ely, I was like, okay, finally a face to put to, I basically feel like I know you. Yeah. The amount of time Ryann was spending with you guys and Jose, I was like, oh yeah, no, they're my friends too. We just haven't met yet.
Exactly. I was like, where's Morgan at? I kept asking. I was like, where is Morgan? I
know.
Morgan here.
Right. Yeah. Morgan, even though I'm the Libra, Morgan definitely is the balance to our wildness. Like we've got Jose over here just like running wild. And then we got me right behind him, like talking to everybody, but also running wild. And then we have Morgan like reeling us both in like a fucking, you know, like kids on those like little strap, like we needed those
We needed those. I was about to say that's a really good idea.
Little collars for all of us.
Yeah.
It's just like over here, like the dominatrix, like get in
I
line.
had a really good one too, girl. You're always in some type of corner. So I feel like that's where me and Morgan really relate, because we're always the ones that are like, all right, like
right. Yeah. Keep it together.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's been fun. Let's bring it back a little bit. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I do just want to shout out a little bit more about Ely. To those of you who don't know that listen to our podcast or watch on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. But yeah, Ely is a very successful, honestly, at this point, like jack of all trades. Like I met you as this like really dynamic dancer that like I love to watch and also dance with, which is really fun. But then I also like got to see your rise on TikTok. Ely is a very successful TikToker now. And I feel old even saying that, because like I don't even have a TikTok, but like literally,
I know, you should hear the grandma comments we make in other episodes. Like, oh, we are not relevant enough for Ely. Yikes.
Yeah,
sorry.
exactly. Yeah, he's definitely brought me up. I literally made a TikTok account for Eli's TikToks to watch.
That's a good friend. That's a good friend.
That is a good friend.
And not only that, but if you're watching on YouTube, I do have a little bit of Eli's merch on. This is some of the original merch when he first went viral for making his Mean Girl TikToks, which for us as millennials, like that was just everything. Like you literally spoke to all of our middle school souls. So
thank you.
Yeah.
I was trying to put my wigs to good use. That's all. Like I was just trying to show people my wigs, and that's been great. So
right, I know, and it stuck exactly, and now they're on my shirt. So, but anyways, and now he is also dove into the realm of podcasts. So if you're interested in anything we have to say, hopefully you'll love and support his podcast as well. His podcast is called Regina Got A Podcast. And obviously it's based off of Mean Girls. I'm sure we'll get into that when we'll let you do all of your shout outs and everything at the end. But I did just want to, preface this as not only is he's a great friend, but he also is in, way more out in the socials than we ever are.
Yes, we're working on it.
But we are working
help
on
us with our OnlyFans, maybe.
Oh,
maybe.
girl,
right.
let me tell you. That's for later, though.
That's right. Yeah. Yes. Regina got an OnlyFans. Is that in the works?
Look.
He's like, ask me after this glass of wine.
Right. But yes, so go on ahead, take it away.
Yeah, no, we just like to do like a little mental health check-in at the beginning of every episode. So Ely, how are you feeling? How are things going? Has it been a good week?
It has been a good week. I feel like I am just at a point in my life where I'm just so content with like my mindset and how I look at things and how I react to things and what I let into my energy and what I don't. So I've been very like present, and I've been very like accepting of change lately, which has just led me to just be in a good mood and just like really accept everything. And it's just kind of one of those things where I used to be so bad. I used to like wake up and like be in a bad mood and like sulk in it, but like it's literally life, like day by day. Like I really can't. I feel like I'm gonna be like a spiritual Gandhi in like 2 to 3 years, because I started meditating recently, and I'm just gonna literally be that friend that's be like, dude, just take some crystals and like, just relax. Like I feel like
right. Next time we see you, you're just gonna be like cleansing our auras, like your chakras. Yeah, your chakras are all out of sorts. Like sage us before we come. Don't bring that energy into my house.
But other than that, I've been very good. I've just been really good. I've just been focusing on my podcast and focusing on what I want to do for my career and what my next steps are. And it's just been really good.
Yes, love that. I love that when things kind of start to align.
Yeah,
I've definitely been in places where I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and things just kind of start working out. And even though you hit those roadblocks, you're like, that's okay. That comes with the territory, because now I feel like I know what I'm trying to do, so I can tackle those things with a better outlook, better perspective. So love that. So happy for that.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. How about you, Ryann? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I had therapy today. So I know I always tell Morgan like this. I just feel open. I feel vulnerable after therapy, which is a good thing, because like I'm letting things go. But man, therapists, you know, if you have a good one, they know exactly what the fuck they're doing. Like she's got me talking about childhood shit. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold up.
Right.
I haven't even gone through my week, lady. But it's really good and it's necessary. I think sometimes with therapy, it feels very good, like immediately, like you get instant gratification, you get stuff off of your chest and you can kind of keep going. But then there's like, when you start really getting into it, they're like, okay, no, we're going to like start working on things. Right. And so that means that like you have literal work to do, right? It's not just going to be like that instant gratification. It's like, no, we're like uncovering things and like, hopefully eventually, right, it'll be like, let go. But right now I'm like in the phase of like having to sit with it and think about it and journal. And I do really appreciate journaling. Anyone out there who has ever, you know, maybe not liked writing and reading and stuff like that. I know for me, I've always kind of gone towards that, but I do just highly recommend just trying. The biggest thing for me at first was because I'm not really good at naming my emotions, like on the spot. I don't really know what I feel. Sometimes it's like a mishmash. And so what my therapist's advice is to journal out just a few sentences about what you might be feeling, right? Well, I might be angry, but I also might be this, I might be that, right? And so from that, I've literally started journaling, not every day. It's not consistent by, you know, any means, but it does help me kind of just get some things out, you know? And it doesn't have to be filtered. I don't know why, but even writing like in my personal journal, sometimes I'm like filtering myself. And she's like, no, if that lady was a fucking bitch, just write, that lady was a fucking bitch and I didn't like her actions, you know? And I was like,
right.
Hell yeah. Okay. You're right. Like I can write that in my own fucking journal, you know? And so that's been seriously helpful because I think I was even in my journal was like trying to hold back and be nice about it. And I was just like, who am I people pleasing? It's my fucking journal, you know?
Right.
So yeah, so feeling very vulnerable, but it's a good thing. And it honestly set up tonight really nicely because now I'm like super excited to get into some fun conversations with my friends. So yeah.
Woo, yeah.
So how have you been?
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I've been good. Had some family stuff going on, some like health issue things, but things are looking up, so that's good news. Good. My sister has been visiting from Korea, so that's been nice just to go out and do things, and I haven't seen her in like 2 years, so it's nice for her to be around and all that. We've done a lot. Spent a lot of money, eaten so much food. Oh my God, so much food. But she's like, I haven't been to America in 2 years. I'm like, okay, I'll eat all that too. I live here, but it's fine. I'm like, of course we need Mexican food every night. Of course we do. So there we are.
I cannot wait to visit to get some more Mexican food. I feel it there. So I'm there with you.
Yeah. So that's been good. That's been nice. But yeah, everything's been pretty good on my end.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
I know.
But
all right.
I know. Okay, now that's done. So now that we know everyone is feeling good, we are going to talk about something pretty fun. Something maybe a little taboo.
Oh, yeah. No, exactly. Like I probably had other shit going on this week, but I'm like, yeah, I'm doing good. So anyways, what's the topic for this week?
Right.
I'm really excited.
Yeah, I went to therapy, journaled. What's next? Yeah. Let's move it along. Yeah.
Now that segment's done. Go.
Yeah, exactly. But no, this topic is real fun. We've definitely individually all had conversations about this at one point or another. We've all been involved in them in some ways here and there. We'll get into the nitty gritty. But yeah, this week we are talking about orgies.
Woo!
Yeah.
Orgies, group sex. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
We're all on webcams, but you know, in spirit. We'll all meditate together with Eli and we can really bring our, you know, astral project ourselves into a really you know, interesting situation.
Yes.
All right. So you guys know that we do the research kind of in a certain order if we can, and usually start with the history. But guess what? Everybody's been having group sex forever. So think of a culture, think of a time. They have been getting into it. So there's your history.
So true though.
Yeah. So the only thing I wanted to point out, just because I know Ryann loves a good origin story of a dildo.
I love that. Yeah, I love that too.
Right? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
So we'll put together a group chat so I can start sending those research details to you both.
Yes.
So I was just looking up like different cultures, different group sex. I mean, like I told you, everyone has been doing it forever. But I did see a picture of a dildo made of stone. So just wanted to share that with everyone because someone took the time to carve that.
Age.
Back in the Stone Age.
Yes.
That is impressive.
Right?
I'm curious of how that would probably feel real uncomfortable, but I would try it. You know what I mean? Like I would just because
I was thinking that it has to be like the exact right size. You know what I mean? Because
it can't be too big.
Right.
It can't be too big.
Right. Yeah. And how do they smooth it out?
Oh,
like it can't be. It's got to be.
They had to have like some type of sandpaper back then or something.
I was thinking that something.
They rub it against another rock.
Yeah,
something's happening. Yeah.
Maybe dip it in some type of substance, maybe like a wax dildo. I don't know, something. You know, like dip.
Let's get a melt inside. If you put a wax, isn't it gonna melt?
That friction. I don't think immediately, right?
Okay, here's our poll for this week. Do wax dildos exist, and have you used it? Is it a one-time use because it melted? Let us know.
That's like a really easy way to make a dick mold. Well, actually, don't do that. That sounds like a bad idea. Pouring like hot wax on your dick and making a mold.
I'm sure that's a thing. Can't be
right?
hot.
Well, they don't. I don't think it's hot wax, but it's definitely like some type of like obviously because the porn stars make dildos all the time and stuff like that. So they have to like.
They're doing something for the mold. Some kind of cast for that.
It's like a. I don't know what, you know, when you put your hand in it and make the whole thing.
I've seen that.
Yeah, when you go to like the fair.
Yeah, you like do a little cute little hand like mold, like it's like that material. It's like a putty, I feel like.
Okay.
Or like a Play-Doh, but it's like a little bit more stickier.
Oh, okay. Sounds fun.
Don't ask me why I know that.
Yeah.
And he's like, and that's what you use for a dildo. Okay. Thank you so much. I mean, we preface that we're not experts, but clearly we have a guest on who is
a little bit more experience. Yes. And I love it. A little bit more so here for it. Right.
Yes. Okay. So what makes an orgy? Which there weren't a lot of specific rules around this. So I was looking more for what's the number. We know threesome, 3 people. Foursome is 4 people. So the rule says that an orgy needs to include 5 or more. Would we agree with that? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you definitely use the word threesome more than use the word foursome. So I feel like a foursome, if there were 4 people in, I would still call that an orgy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's still a lot going on. An orgy means there's a lot going on to me. So it's like you can't keep up. You know what I mean? Like, so there's like, if there's 4 people, there's enough to make it to feel like an orgy. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I feel. But I do see that. I do see that it could start at 5, but my argument might be 4.
Okay. I would this is just like me in my like imaginary world, but in my imaginary world I would think that an orgy would be defined by like how many holes a person has versus how many can be filled by the other people in the room. You know what I mean? Well, seriously, because like if it's
I like that.
Hey, I'm just saying, right? Like if it's just sex, right? Or like with one person, right? With one partner, then you can only really fill like 1, maybe 2 holes at a time. I mean, you know, we have fingers and stuff, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then if you have another person in there, that's threesome, because like you might still have like a hole open, but like you can kind of get, you know, like pretty good. You can get filled. You know what I mean?
Okay. Sure.
But but then if you add a third person into that, I mean, you're filled up. You know what I mean?
Okay. So orgy is when every orifice is filled.
Because like multiple people can be penetrated at the same time, right? Like a threesome, you might be a little bit limited, but 4 and above, I do agree that that's like everybody's getting a piece of something. You know what I mean? There's no left out. There's no left out. So,
Okay.
So we have questions for you, Eli, because we do want to get the most expert advice in the room. Okay. And so one of the things that Morgan found in the research was one of the doctors was basically saying that the golden rule for an orgy is that orgy participants have to set boundaries beforehand to determine what's acceptable for everyone involved. Okay. So my question is, what's been your experience with setting boundaries and or not setting boundaries? Like, has anything went past the point of like, actually, this isn't what I came here for? Or have you ever like been a part of that where they're like, okay, we're not going to do this, but we're all going to do this. Like, like, let us know.
There was like 7 instances that just flashed in my head.
Oh.
Where someone has done something to me that I did not want them to do.
Oh.
And I either just continued with it or just like slowly walked away. There's been, so like, for instance, like I've been to like a bathhouse before. So like a bathhouse specifically, that's just like a huge orgy of just like people. It doesn't mean there's a lot going on. It just means that there's a lot of people. So in that instance, let's say you're standing in a hallway, right? You're just in the house. You're just waiting for people to walk, and people are just like walking by, and like it's really hard because you have to really like make eye contact and like feel that these like it's like consent in a sense. But sometimes if you're already in a setting where let's say there's a couple other people and you're already going at something, and then one dude comes over to you and starts like sucking your dick or something, and you're not really attracted to him that much, like that's in a sense where you can't do much or you can like move. So that's happened to me before and I just didn't want it. But like eventually I'd kind of like waited till he was like up and then I moved. So like to answer the question,
I was gonna ask, do you just pull it out of his mouth and walk away?
I just like I remember he was like on me and then he like went to go to someone else, and that's why I was like, that was my room to like go.
Okay, you saw you're out. You saw
right.
Okay.
But for like for gay men specifically, I feel like there's never, it's really hard to find the man that is very like, is this okay? Or is this like, it's like having sex in a sense of like, if I'm bottoming and you just go to like shove it in, like there's just aggressive gays that just want to just like fuck, and then there's those people that are like, are you okay? And then once you know you're in the groove, then you can like enjoy the sex, and like that's hard to come by. So like in orgies specifically, it's a little bit hard because there could be 5 people in the orgy and you think only 2 are cute, and then the other 2 are still trying to get at you, and it's either do I stay in the orgy to like wanna, you know, still play with the other 2, or do I just like remove myself because I'm that uncomfortable?
Okay, so because this is what I'm thinking. First of all, I don't know why, but when you said bathhouse, I just assumed that everyth's steamy. Like, I don't know if that's
absolutely 100%. That's where my mind went. Okay, like, everyone's wearing towels around their waist. Right. It's very steamy in there.
To clarify, the bathhouse I went to was like 3 floors. The first floor, if you walked all the way down, it was like a hallway in a sense, like on each floor, but the first floor had a pool and a steam room and all that stuff. And the second floor just had like different rooms. So one room was like a glory hole room, and another room was like playing porn, and then there was like separate rooms that you can buy. So if you wanted to fuck someone, you can go in there, like stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's more of a picture for you.
Okay. So this helps because I think with, like you said, with boundaries for this, or at least setting the boundaries, like there's not necessarily, this isn't like, I think in this like research, I'm not too sure, but I'm thinking more of like a house orgy, right? Where like you're invited somewhere. I don't know if this would be more compared to like a circuit party for, you know, gay men or just gay people in general. I'm not too sure.
Sounds like an after Kiki kind of thing.
Okay, right. Okay. So in that situation, I'm really curious if there are ground rules or if it's one of those things where it's just like, you set the boundary when you need it, right? Like if somebody like maybe if somebody is strictly a top or something and they're like, oh, no, sorry, you know, like that's not me. Or, you know what I mean? Like, is that more where you would set boundaries? Because bathhouses, I guess you walk in and you're like, I'm coming into this knowing that anything could happen because we're all here for some type of sexual experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you're like, for instance, like, and for all you that don't know what a kiki is when you are leaving the club at like 2 or 4 in the morning and you go to someone's house and you continue the party till 12 in the afternoon. And it's usually people are on a lot of drugs and people are doing a lot of things. The thing about that situation is that usually when you're at those type of parties, they're usually really intimate. And if you're feeling somebody, you can usually tell in that instance, and you can kind of just consent with each other in that moment. I mean, there has been plenty of times where guys have wanted me to bottom, and I was like, I'm not doing that tonight. And I was, wanting to top or something. So in that instance, yes, in the moment, I would be like, no, like I can't, and maybe just like pursue something different. But it really depends. I usually don't have to set boundaries until I usually don't have to. Like when I'm going into an orgy, I'm usually like, I know what I'm gonna do, and I proceed, like I make sure everyone knows that. So if I want to bottom, like my ass is out, you know what I mean? Or
right.
Like one of those things.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I like that because I think first of all, like we said, we started off this episode with saying that first of all, like orgies in general, or just like talking about group sex, or honestly just like sex in general, but mostly like group sex, is very taboo, right? It's not something that you're having this conversation with at work, right? I mean, unless you work at like 24-hour fitness and WeHo. Shout out.
All the time.
They have a steam room, right?
Right.
Is that okay?
I've never done anything in the steam room. I've never done anything in the gym. I always wanted to, but I kind of like, no, I'm at work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the men that came into that gym, there was so many men that hit on me, and I was like, girl, if I could just get you in the cycle room, but I didn't.
Self-control. Look at you.
Yeah. There was a lot of, don't get me wrong, I hit some of them up when we met outside the club, but not at work.
Okay. No, exactly. Right. Yeah. Keep it professional. Keep it cute. Keep them guessing. You know what I mean? You'll find out at the Kiki.
Invite them to the orgy.
Out. Right.
Right.
Exactly. And so this, I'll let Morgan take it away, but I guess this leads into the next part because you found like a few different types of orgies, right?
Yeah, exactly. So as I was doing the research, types of group sex parties came up, which you kind of alluded to already, which is great. So we have a couple listed, but Eli, if you can think of any others, definitely throw them in. So swingers parties, which I feel like is a little bit old school, right? That feels a little bit like the stereotype would be like an older couple meeting up, like trying to spice up their sex life after like 30 years of marriage or something, right? Like we're picturing like a bunch of older people like naked and like
Janet and Pete.
Someone's ranch style home. Janet and Pete. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So the next one is a rainbow party, which, okay, I was like, I've heard of this. And I remember this being like such a big thing when I was in school, like in junior high or high school. Like these rumors were huge. Yeah. So basically it's where people wear different color lipstick that leave rings after sucking a dick. So guys, their dick would look like a rainbow. So that was the whole thing. So I don't know if people have actually done this.
You said I would thrive.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. This was spread around and it was referenced to as an urban legend. So maybe people have done this from this story becoming so popular, but it was so big that it was featured on the Oprah Winfrey show as like this whole like kind of like satanic panic mania. You know how people kind of went crazy for like just stuff that wasn't really true. It was kind of like that, just like picked up like wildfire. Like, and so the segment on the show was called "Is Your Child Leading a Double Life?"
Not a double life.
No. Right.
Could you imagine if you were like 14 and your mom's like looking at your purple lipstick, like you are a whore. You're a whore and you're gonna get chlamydia.
You have all the rainbows. What's going on?
Yeah. They're like checking their kids' dicks for like, blue and purple.
I mean, all I have to say is, first of all, what lipsticks are you getting? Because Fenty wasn't even around then, so I don't know what lipsticks were lasting this long that were just I'm trying to
understand the actual act of it. So I'm saying you got the lipstick on your lips. So first of all, you got to get someone that could deep throat, depending on how big it is. Because if they can't, then how is the rainbow even going to start?
Right. Well, only one. You need like one deep throater. And then from there, then you need like a shallow ass mouth to like kiss it on the tip, you know?
But Am I just kissing it? Because like if I'm sucking a dick, I'm like doing that and then I'm doing a whole motion. So the lipstick would smear.
Right.
So are we just kissing it and then like, thanks, George, and then like leaving and then like having the next person come in? Because that just doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
But I don't,
I mean, I could see it being a mishmash of color at the base of the dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I could see like different like layers kind of layering up to kind of make, again, obviously it's what it really sounds like is some like straight dudes just trying to get their dick sucked a lot and was like, oh, let's make it that rainbow party. Everyone wear different color lipsticks. Like stop trying to invent things just to get your dick sucked. Your dick will get sucked if people want to suck it. Like that's all that people need to know. And I feel like a lot of times, a lot of weird type of situations are trying to created when in reality, all you need to know is that you are entitled to have an orgy and have your dick sucked by multiple people if that is what in fact turns you on. You know what I mean? So this just strikes me as like something that, like even it was on the Oprah Winfrey show. Also, there's like a tinge of like homophobia in this because like, is your child leading a double life? Sounds like maybe the kid hasn't come out yet and they're involved in like something, you know what I mean? Like it just, it strikes me as something that was made to, like you said, be kind of like create buzz around it when in reality all it is just like people having sex or group sex.
Right.
Yeah, so, that's true.
But yeah, so may or may not be true, we don't know. If you do it, please let us know. And then the other one I saw was a daisy chain party. Have you heard of this one, Eli?
I have not.
What about you, Ryann? Have you heard of this one?
Not under this name. There's another name, but I'll say it after.
Okay. Yeah. So basically it's group sex that is in the formation of like lying in a circle where one person's mouth is on the next person's genitals. And you like form a circle, which like, if you remember making like flower crowns when you were like in elementary school, like at recess when you're picking at the grass, like, so everyone's mouth is on the next person's dick. Or,
wouldn't it be like a circle? Wouldn't it be like a...
I think it depends on how you're laying. Maybe if everyone laid on their side, that would probably be not that comfortable. Everyone probably would have to have like a leg in the air.
Something.
Cool, because that's what I was thinking. I was like, it would have to, it would kind of like go in one way and then go out the other because
that's true.
Yeah.
Like, also, it depends on what genitals are at each point, right? Also,
true. Because
it would be interesting to see. I'm curious about it, but the closest thing that I was thinking of is like a circle jerk or something like that. But is that a thing? Have you seen circle jerks out in the wild? Have you seen that?
Not really, no. I don't really understand them. Like if I'm gonna jerk off, I'm gonna do it by myself. Like I'm not gonna like like I feel like that's just like a lazy kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like it's just like a thing like with that more to me is more like for myself versus like anyone else. Like I'm not gonna message you on Grindr and then be like, yo, let's just jerk off and then like you just sit there. That's weird, you know what I mean? So I've never experienced it, nor do I. So
fair enough. Well, okay, this also is just kind of reminds me of something because like I'd assume also that like, it takes a lot of stamina, right? Like that's why like drugs and stuff are involved anyway, because like this takes a lot of stamina. Like, I have one partner and I'm like, woof, gotta go to the gym more often.
But Eli's gym, apparently.
Right. Yeah.
It's closed now, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. That's why I had to shout it out because it holds a special place in my heart. But I guess this will actually lead us into our next part. But one of the things about having stamina is that if you don't have it, I would assume that maybe circle jerks could be like kind of like a break, like you're on the sidelines and you're like, I want to kind of stay hard or I want to stay in the mood, but now I'm just kind of like a voyeur. You know what I mean? So like maybe circle jerks aren't necessary. I mean, again, people are obviously doing them somewhere. I'm sure somewhere people are in a circle doing this. But I would imagine that maybe this would be more like a sideline activity, as like most people are like having sex. I could see somebody sitting on the side, like, just like fondling the person next to them to keep each other in the mood and in the moment, you know what I mean? But not just themselves.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Definitely in that. Okay. Yeah. I've been part of a circle jerk. Yes, when you
The
put
truth
it
comes
that
out.
way, when you put it that way, yeah. For
Yeah.
me specifically, I will be honest with you.
Mhm.
I am I'm very, very verse. I love to bottom, I love to top. But when I top, I don't last that long. And it's really embarrassing sometimes. And I rather me and my husband are open, and like sometimes he'll just have sex with people, sometimes I'll just have sex with people, sometimes I have sex together with someone else, and like I like it better that way because then like he can do it and he can like go and I could be on the side, just be like, you know what I mean, like get my energy back up and then I can go. So
He's like,
yeah,
got a snack break.
yeah, get a little
Goldfish in the
snack, go
corner.
pee,
He's like,
yeah,
go you.
Yeah, it's
Go
like the
team.
it's like the elevator music. It's like the Wii startup music.
yeah. So in that case, yeah, I do essentially. I mean, but like it really depends because like when you're in an orgy, specifically like if I'm gonna not be fucking or not like want to come or something, I'm probably gonna go suck someone else's dick or something. You know, I'm like probably gonna like dip into something else. So like jerking off is really like I don't even jerk off on the side. Maybe I'll jerk someone else off because again, I don't want to come. But I just feel like again, that's just something that like that's what you do in the first like 2 minutes just to get yourself going, and then you know what I mean.
Oh, interesting. So have you been there at the beginning of an orgy, like before everything really ensues?
Which one?
Is that or is that
are
like
you the orgy like starter?
Am I the orgy?
Are you the one who you bring the orgy to the kiki?
More No, but I will be honest, there are multiple times if I do go to a party that has some type of sex room, I will be in the sex room for the majority of the party, and that's just who I am. But yeah, I've kind of been in the beginning of the state, especially like when I've like invited boys over and we've like had orgies before. You've kind of like started in the beginning state and like getting stuff ready, but again, it's just like I just love to suck dick, to be honest. That's just who I am. So like I'll just do that like on like anybody. You know what I mean? So I'd rather do that than like jerk someone else off.
Got it. Okay. So you're more you're not more hands-on. You're
yeah.
He's like, actually, I don't really need your hands are involved.
I don't need no hands.
Yeah.
No hands.
Yeah. Yes, love that for you. But I do also love the fact that, and this is one of the reasons why we bonded. I mean, not because both of us like to, suck dick. I mean, that probably was
we did bond over that.
I was gonna say, I was like, actually, I think we have, right? Yeah, I think we have. But also too, like, I just like being true to what you really like. You know what I mean? Like if you're at a party, like you said, if you're going to be there, if you show up to, if it's like an after party or whatever type situation, if you invite somebody over, do what you like, because showing up to something like this and just being like apprehensive is like, what's that for? What'd you come for? Like, just
honestly,
dive in.
I was just talking to my girlfriend. My girlfriend, she is not with her man, that her baby daddy anymore, and she's dating, and I love that for her. But she was talking about like sexting and like doing all that stuff, and she hasn't done it in a long time. And I was telling her, I was like, if I were to look at myself 4 or 5 years ago, I would have never thought I would have like done the stuff I've done sexually now or like experienced it all. But it's one of those things where you just get older and you just have to experience it. If you see something in porn and that turns you on, go try it. Like I've tried a glory hole before and I was like, this is great. Like I'm gonna come back. You know what I mean? Like
he is pro glory hole. Yes.
Love that.
Love that.
So it's like one of those things where you just need to try it, and it's really just like exploring your sexuality. And again, orgies are so taboo, and just talking about sex is so taboo, but it's just so fun. And I think that's why me and Ryann like love each other, is because we can literally just talk about me like, girl, like my spit, like I've shown Ryann my nudes before, and like she'd be like, yeah, like so it's just like you have to really explore that side of yourself. And I ignored it for the longest time, and I have 2 separate Twitters, and if you find it, good luck. That's cool. It's really not that hard. It's really not that hard to find, honestly. But it was like, if you find it, that's cool. But like, I just want to be able to post like my nudes for people to see and like be taboo and like do that. So I feel like everyone needs to unlock their little sexual chamber, because
Yes. Me neither. I mean,
happy Black History Month. Sorry.
Also that, yeah, it's Black History Month. You are a Black guest. You're our first guest, so that's beautiful.
I love that.
Yeah, but also too, I agree. Like, this is also one of the reasons why we started our podcast, was because me and Morgan would constantly find ourselves in orgies. No, I'm just kidding.
Constantly. It constantly
in all the time. Just looking at each other like, girl, how did we get here?
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get into that. That definitely happened a few times also.
Yeah.
But we'd always find ourselves in conversations with people and realize that it ended up just being us talking. One, because we talk a lot, but also two, because a lot of people just don't tap into that side of themselves. So they literally just genuinely don't have anything to say. And and it's not like a slight to them. It's just more so like, we've always been interested in like, people are doing things and like, I want to know about it. You know what I mean? Like, are they enjoying it? Like, what are the logistics? When you show up, do you immediately take your clothes off? Do people take them off for you? Like, what do these situations look like? Because it's so interesting to watch and like enjoy like sexually liberated people. You know what I mean? Like, that's like some of the best conversation, because it's like, yeah, like we've talked about on other episodes. Like, I think, and maybe you can disagree or share your thoughts on this, but I think that sexual positions, like the whole myth around those, are a little bit overrated. I don't think that you actually need that many different sexual positions to have a fun, exciting love life. No. That stuff to me also just seems like a little bit like more so porn fantasy. Like the stuff I see in porn, I'm like, first of all, the girl is 5'2", the guy is 6'7". Like those are not the proportions we have. I eat every day, so he can't just toss me around. We're gonna need a stool. So I don't know if you agree, but that has always been something that I was like, let's actually talk about your sex life. Don't just tell me, oh yeah, it's good, like we have sex regularly. Like, no, like, how do you have it? Like, what does that look like
for you? Are you passionately having? Are you having it sporadically? Are you just pulling out your dick and having them do that? Are you like, there's so many factors to it, and I think going into what you said, the whole like, I feel like the whole bottom shaming is a thing, and like the whole like, if you're just a top and all of this stuff, like that comes in when I look at a person, or if I look at people that I want to have sex with, in a sense, like I have a very broad type. I like a lot of different type of guys, and I almost feel as if like I am verse, right? I love to bottom more because I can control the situation more when I'm a bottom versus when I'm a top. And you would think it's a top, but again, the whole coming fast thing, and like, if you have a fat ass and I'm fucking you, it's over. Like, I won't last long. So it's just one of those things where I like to bottom more. And I know my ass pictures compared to my dick pics are just 10 times premium. So I'm going to send those more often. I'm going to sell what's working. You know what I mean? Okay. But I just feel like certain people do look at me sometimes and like, oh, he's just a bottom. He's not going to want to top. Like, he's not going to be a top. But I am. Like, I just because someone is feminine or someone is masculine or whatever the case may be, they want to be in a certain position. And people should at least respect that, because if you're more open-minded when you go into sex, you're more likely to enjoy it and more discover something that you don't like. I mean, it's more something that you do like. So in a sense of like, if you go in and say, like, I'm just going to top or whatever, you don't know if, first of all, you whipped out his dick and you loved it, and then you wanted to bottom and felt great, and it felt great. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain aspects of like that your people are just not like literally turning the key and unlocking and being open to, in the sense of, okay, like, I'm just gonna, like, me sharing my husband. Like, I never would have thought sharing my husband was a thing. He was joking about it 5 years ago. I was like, absolutely not. I can sit in the corner and watch it for days. Like, I don't need to even be a part of it. You know what I mean? Like, it could really just be, and that's just something that like I didn't give a chance to. So it's like, people really need to let go of the whole taboos of the tops and the bottoms, and oh, like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, because at the end of the day, like, if you were just free when you're having sex, just like everyone should be, then like the experience is going to be 10 times more greater, because you're passionate more, you're more into it, you're doing things, you're not afraid what the other person's thinking and all other stuff.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, that's like the ultimate test, like being in a situation, or not even just necessarily like an orgy, but just being in an openly sexual place, in your life, or like with other people. That's, like you said, it's the ultimate, like, you're bearing everything, right? Like you're like, I'm here. So I've already entered this space. So why bring my holdups? Like, right? Why bring my hangups? You know, like, let's just enjoy it. Oh, exactly. Love that. Love that.
I know. Dropping some seriously good advice.
Yes,
definitely.
I try. I've lived through a lot. I feel like I'm like 38 and I'm like, you know, back on these days, like I just feel like I'm like an old soul at this point, especially doing podcasts now. I just feel like I'm like telling everyone, like, listen, everyone, like I've done drugs, don't do them. Like it's like
oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, love that. I know. You know what? I feel like getting into my 30s, I feel like the best is yet to come. I've said this before.
Exactly.
I've done some wild things, but now I feel a little bit more comfortable with my body. I feel a little bit more like accepting of things. I'm more like knowledgeable of who I am. And, you know, so what I'm bringing to the table now is a lot different than like, you know, a little more hesitant, like 25-year-old Morrison wasn't really sure what was going on with herself, felt awkward, felt weird, needed a whole bottle of wine just to like feel confident. You know what I mean?
Same.
Like, so
right.
Yeah. So I get why they say like women peak later, and I don't want to stereotype in that sense, but in my experience, that's what I'm feeling. I'm definitely putting out those vibes for myself because I mean, I don't want a shitty sex life in my 30s. So what other vibes am I going to put out, you know? But
really, exactly. And I was just telling the same girlfriend about turning 30, going to 30. She's always like, oh my God. I was like, girl, we're gonna be 29 this year. She's like, stop, why do you always say that? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, because think of it this way. Like, yeah, our 20s were great. We were thriving. We were doing everything that we thought we could. And now we're getting into a state, especially with her and especially with me. And like, even everyone in my life, it just seems like they're really just trying to find, like they're finding themselves. But like, I was like, we're in a place where we're finding ourselves so much and that we're becoming our best versions of ourselves. Just think when we get to 30, like when we get to 30, first of all, we're going to be fucking fine because we're 30. You know what I mean? Like that just comes with the age. And then we're going to be in our best mindset. We're going to have our careers like set off. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's going to be so many like flourishing in the 30s. So I feel like, again, the taboo, leave it alone. Like the 20s, you're just there to learn and you're just really like there for the ride. And then when the ride's done, you know, when you're gonna go on a roller coaster and then you're like, it was a big one and your hair just like all crazy and you're at 28, you're like, all right. I figured it out. I'm gonna stay in the kiddie pool. I'm gonna like chill. You know what I mean? Like that stuff. Like I just feel like
so true.
The 30s are thriving.
Well, that's the thing. So completely agree, because first of all, me and Morgan have been there through everything, through our 20s up until now, literally everything. And even the times that we did dabble in, like, so we used to go out a lot. We had multiple sexual partners. And there are a few times that we dabbled in the orgy realm. We definitely dabbled, you know?
Yeah, I would say,
we've dabbled. We've taken the steps. Yeah, we've taken the steps. But the thing that I think, or a few things that I think kept us from really going into it. One, I don't think that it wasn't planned, right? So it wasn't like we went into it knowing. So everyone was like, we started all kiss and kind of feel here and there, and like we were having a good time. But also we weren't confident in ourselves yet. So we like had too much to drink, of course. And so it kind of just like threw off the vibe, because you're trying to decipher, like, am I falling into your face or am I actually intentionally kissing you? You know what I mean? Like, and you pull back and you're like, wait, I don't remember actually coming into this kiss. So but it was also because we were still young and not really sure of like what we wanted our sexuality to be, or, you know what I mean? Or if we were ready to like blur those lines, you know? And I know for me, like now understanding that like the idea of just being straight and also like wanting to like have orgies and like be in like group sex settings, I know that you have to let that go. Like this idea of just, even if you're, you know, like, you know, even if you are straight or gay or whatever it is, wherever you fall into that, limiting yourself even in those confines is still going to like come up in some ways, right? Because there's still boxes that we put gay people into and trans people into and straight people. And so you have to figure out like, what is this for you, right? Like, what does this really mean? And can you just like leave it at the door, in all honesty, you know? And I do feel like, so, you know, obviously now I'm married, like we have a great sex life. I really do enjoy us. Yes. Pro sex. But we like, unfortunately got together and then like COVID hits. We were just like, well, fuck, like nobody's coming into our bed yet. But we have been very open and honest about the fact that like, I don't think that there's any reason to like, you know, kid ourselves that we are going to be able to please every part of each other. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'm totally excited and like down for the day where I get to like sit back and just see my man get pleasured and pleasure somebody, you know, like, I don't know what I'm going to be like. I don't know if I'm going to be like patting him on the back or like providing water.
Don't do that, please. Don't pat Ben on the back. Do not go ahead and be like, good job, Dave. Yeah, get it. Like, don't do that. Okay. Like, I will fly there and I will literally pull you by your hair and pull you out that house because that is not okay.
Like, mama, sit down.
And don't give him a high five either. Don't do that. Don't do one of those.
Be like, ooh, just yeah. But no, exactly. Like those are the types of things that I'm so excited to like dive into when we're, you know, when we're ready and the time is right, because I just feel like I've met so many people that were so tied to like their sexual orientation and thinking that, well, if we have a threesome, like it's got to be two girls or it's got to be, and it's just like, first of all, no, because you don't know who you're going to be attracted to. And if you're fighting that you're attracted to somebody that you're not so quote unquote supposed to be attracted to, it's just not going to be as fun. Like let it happen. Who you have a connection with, that's where it'll be the most fun. So thank you so much for dropping that advice because I love it. I'm so excited.
It's a fun ride. It is, and it's different for straight people because it's just, you know, there's a different dynamic there. So for gay people, I mean, it was typically when me and Drew do anything together, there's been a few occasions where I have bottomed and like I've been the bottom for Drew and someone else, but usually we would top someone else, and that's where those like kind of rules come in. But it all depends too, because before, when we started being open, we weren't very good about it and we didn't set any rules. So there was a lot of things that we were doing that really pissed each other off and didn't like. And then now we're more open about it. So like if I go to a party and I do want a bottom, like Drew's gonna know. I used to be like, oh, like it used to be like a permission thing, and then now it's Drew's like, if you want to do it, like do what you want to do. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like being open with your partner and being open with being able to communicate that, because that's really hard. It was really hard for us, and now we're at a place where, and even now, like I'm just like, you know, like even if he had someone over or wanted to go somewhere or do something, I don't necessarily even need to know about it. Like I can just like, even if he was like, oh, like this boy, I was like, do it. Like I'm all pro sex. Like I literally, if you want to go get some ass, go get some ass. Like I love ass too. So just let me know. The only thing is just let me know how it was. You know what I mean? Like send me
give me the deets.
Give me the deets. That's all I need to know, and then I'm good. You know what I mean? So it's really, I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for that journey because it's really fun. It's really fun.
Interesting. So this will be a question, and then if Morgan, if you want, we can go into the different types of people, because that's kind of funny. But my question would be, have you seen people that are single come into these situations and like try to figure out how to navigate it? Because you are coming in with like a built-in partner, right? Like literally. And that's just like going into any event. It's always feels more comfortable when you're with someone, right? Because if all else fails, like we can fuck each other, you know what I mean? But if you're a single person, or have you ever like had a friend that came with you that was the single person? And so what is that dynamic like? Like, do they just kind of jump in, you know, like ask first, or like what goes on?
Well, let me tell you, I'm a very humble man, but I just feel like me and my husband just attract a lot of boys, and it's very awesome. It's nice, but it's also very annoying because there are some boys, my husband specifically has a lot of them, that past tense, has a lot of them that
we don't talk about them,
right?
Boys that, it's a thing. So if you want to talk to my husband, I'm cool with it. If you want to fuck my husband, I get it. He's my husband. The only thing is that acknowledge that I'm here. Acknowledge that he has a husband, and acknowledge that you at least see me, or whatever the case may be. sometimes I'm not around. Ryann knows when me and my husband go out, we're usually separated. We usually never see each other. And that's just the way we've been ever since we gone out. But there has been guys that have come in and they have not acknowledged me. And they've just tried to like get into Drew's pants or try to like do all these things. And like even had them try to like leave me for him and like leave, yeah, whatever that case may be. Well, you get what I'm saying. And all that other stuff. So yeah, there are a lot of single people, but there are a lot of people who do respect it and they ask. Like recently we hung out, we met a boy somewhere. Actually, it was like an adult thing. Like we met him like in an adult place. But then he came over, we hung out, blah, blah, blah. And then we hooked up, but he like, while he was texting me and he was texting Drew as well, he was very like sure to be like, okay, so like, just so you know, like what's the situation? Because like me and Drew are not cut and dry. It's not, we only have boys over because, to bottom, or we only do this, we only do that. It depends on the vibe. Like if I end up messaging someone and I like, feel like hanging out with them or something, it just be my solo thing. So there are some people that do ask the dynamic of it and are respectful and try to like, include me. And the thing about it, especially in threesomes, there's always going to be two people that are more like connected. And sometimes it's me and Drew. Sometimes Drew's just really into the guy. Sometimes I'm really into the guy, and something just happens. I used to not really be okay with that, and now I'm more accepting of it. Like that's just human nature. Like we can't again, we can't be putting these expectations on people that we think of and then get disappointed when they show us who they really are, because like they were just there.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know. Dropping gems.
Wow.
That is so true. Love that.
So in all reality, I would say out of the gays, maybe 30% or 20% of them are pretty respectful, and the other 70% are not. They just want some dick, and I respect that too.
Yeah. But they're not around anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Nope. Y'all thought you were gonna win, but I'm still here.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. Love that.
It's so funny when people think they can break us up. I was like, me and my husband have like been through thick and thin, the highest of highs, the lowest of lows. We've been together for almost 9 years. The funniest thing too is we look at people, and when we were out last week, we were like looking, and this guy came up to me and he was like trying to hit on me, and Drew was like, "Oh, he's cute, whatever." And I was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, I might leave him for you, like leave you for him. And he was like, "Oh really?" He's like, "Well, I'm not getting divorced after this. I'm married after this." I was like, "Me either." so we both know that we're not ever gonna get married after this, if we happen to divorce. But we're on that same level. So it's like, even if you were to break us up, it ain't gonna happen. So
and that's the thing. I think it's real funny. Like, you think you're that special. Like, if we break up, it's because our own petty bullshit, not because of you.
Right.
Exactly.
Trust and believe.
Right. We will be our own downfall.
Right.
I don't think you had any effect on this.
Exactly.
We got this all on our own.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm very capable of self-sabotaging. Okay.
Yeah, you have no idea. So step off. Yeah.
I can be toxic. Just watch, please. Okay.
Oh my god, that is too good. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the people you meet at orgies, at a group sex party, because I found this great list of the different kinds of, frequenters of the orgy. So Eli will let us know if he knows these people. I'm sure that he's gonna get some memories flashing from previous experiences. And then maybe we'll play a little game and see who thinks who is who, what we think we are, and what you guys think we are. What we are in our own fantasy and what we are in reality.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I love it.
Okay, so the first one is called the Mama-san, which is usually a little bit older, more experienced in the lifestyle. So this is the one who's kind of the chaperone, right? The one who's probably the host of the party, making people feel comfortable, kind of just leading the experience. Okay. Next one is the gangbang girl. So this person might come across as shy, but is actually tons of fun once they get a little bit more comfortable. So this person's probably trying to figure out what they can get away with without freaking other people out. So maybe like a secret freak.
I was just gonna say,
yeah. Right.
I wanted to say something just now, but I would out myself, so I'm not gonna.
we'll say for when we guess.
yeah. Okay. And I hope you guys are playing along at home. So take notes or just listen up here. So next one is Sleeping Beauty. So this is the person who comes to the party even though they've had a really long day. They might participate a little bit, but maybe just end up falling asleep in the corner.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no, not sleeping. Not at a sex party, girl. Just go home.
Right? Yeah. No, go home. Go snuggle up. Save your energy for the next one.
Period.
Right, exactly.
So next one is the introvert. So they like to be around people, but they're very shy and kind of awkward. So they may or may not participate. They often like intellectual, deep conversations and prefer like a one-on-one setting. So maybe at the party, they wouldn't participate in the group activities, but if they found someone they clicked with, they would have a little one-on-one sesh.
Interesting. Okay.
So that's the introvert. Next one is the sex athlete. Okay. So for this person, sex is a necessity. They're going to put it in every hole available. So there you go.
I love that.
any hole.
Be a little bit safe though, but do it.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
yes,
Like,
definitely. Next one is the unicorn. So this is a single girl or guy at the party who's willing to join couples, kind of just, the one lingering on their own, ready to hop into any situation, whatever arises. All right. Next one is the BDSM couple. So one's the dominant and one's the submissive. And they direct each other on what they want to do. So the dominant may say, you can or cannot have sex with that person. Submissive then can partake.
Oh, so that's like part of what they get off on is like, you tell me who to go do it, what with. Interesting.
Yes, that can definitely be part of it.
Whips and chains excite me. Come on, Leah.
Yeah. Right?
Shout out to her having a baby.
Damn. I know.
Mama Riri.
Mama Riri.
All right. Next one is the newbie. So can't decide if they're going to come to the party. Maybe shows up at the last minute after a little bit of encouragement. Not sure how much participation happens. Needs a lot of, just reassuring that things are going to be okay. All right. Next one is the cuckold, which we've had this word on the podcast before. It's hard to say. It's a lot of mouth moving. Cuckold. So this is the person that's happy to attend the party with their loved ones and allow their loved ones to get fucked while they just are there.
So is that, would that be like the same as like a voyeur? Like they just kind of be like a sidelines person?
Yeah, I would say so, because that's where cuckolding came in on a previous episode when we were talking about voyeurism.
Right.
So I think they're just happy to watch others participate.
Okay, got it.
So I think that does play in. So a bit of a voyeur on that one. Next one is the daddy. So this is an older, usually gentleman at the parties, who parties harder than everyone and just makes everyone feel real comfortable. Daddy.
Okay, daddy.
All right.
I could think of a couple of those.
Next one is the squirter. So this is someone who is so sexually liberated and tuned into their body that they can cause a mini tsunami between their legs.
Come on, tsunami.
I did not write that. That is straight from the article. So there you go.
I will say that's a talent. I mean, even in the porn I've watched, like everybody does not have that like talent to squirt, whether,
Renomi tsunami. Come on.
It's Lady Gaga, obviously.
Now, exactly. Now we know. Okay, so Lady Gaga,
she probably
we got it.
She probably
is. She is freaky in bed. I could just tell.
Right?
That bitch goes crazy.
Yeah, she
takes off her wig probably during sex. She's like, I don't need this. Like,
right?
Just goes off.
And our last one is the troublemaker. So doesn't always show up to the parties, but likes to stir the pot, get into something, leave people feeling a certain type of way, and then just walks away. No foul on them, has a good time. See you later. No consequences for me.
That's the type of person that just like sucks your dick for like 20 seconds and then leaves. You don't like that person. Like, what are you even doing here? Like, what are you even doing here? Why did you even go down if you were like, and they're really good though. That's the point.
Really good. Exactly. And then
that's
exactly the troublemaker.
Yeah. Get you all riled up and ready. And then like, okay, bye. It's
I hate guys like that.
Oh, I like these. Okay. So I want to go first. I would say that I'm a little bit of mix of the Sleeping Beauty.
Not the Sleeping Beauty. You do sleep.
No, I can fall asleep like on the drop of a hat. So I think I'd be a mix between the Sleeping Beauty and the which was maybe, I don't know if I'd be the gangbang girl, because this is the thing. I don't know. I wouldn't come off shy at first. That wouldn't be me. So maybe, I'd be the unicorn. Yeah. So I'd be a mix between the Sleeping Beauty and the unicorn. For me, that's where I see myself, because the unicorn, it's like, I'm willing to play, but like I'm also kind of tired because like, I work a lot. And I had like a lot of anxiety built up about it. Like I'm excited, but I'm like too excited, and I'm like a kid on candy, and
right, you tire yourself out. You just take a nap in the corner.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what about you, Eli?
I'm a mix of all these girls. First of all, I do fall asleep all the time. My husband I had to watch an episode of TV today, of a TV show, because I fell asleep, and he said, if you don't watch it today, I'm watching this without you, and we watch everything together. So I fall asleep all the time, and I will fall asleep. I have fell asleep at the club before several times. I feel like I'm the gangbang girl too, because when it comes to like orgies in general, I may talk about a lot of orgies, but like the first 45 minutes of the orgy, I'm probably very uncomfortable, and I'm like, don't know if I can consent with anyone. I don't know if anyone's feeling me. I don't know if I'm feeling anyone else. It's kind of like that. And I am shy, but I am down. You know what I mean? Like I'm down for anything. Right. And then obviously I'm down for it. My husband will never get fucked. If he bottomed for anyone else, something's wrong. But
they did not make eye contact.
Yeah.
I am a cuckler.
Cuckold.
And I do like to just watch, and I love to watch. I'm very nosy. I love to just watch. Like I will always try to see something. Like the other day, this boy was on the bus. He was real cute. He was on Grindr on the bus, and I was trying to see his nudes, but I couldn't see it because I was too far.
Yes. Okay. I agree, because I think I could also be in the cuckold. I also tried to like set up that situation one time at your house with that one guy, if you remember.
Yeah. I mean, okay, wait. Fun fact and fun story. I do this all the time with mine. Ding, ding, ding. Fun fact. So I will not name his name. Me and Drew hooked up with him, and it was funny because when I met him, he was in the same profession as me, and I was doing the same thing. Right. And I just was so excited to have friends, because I made like a couple friends at the same time, because I was doing something with him in a group of people. And then we just clicked, because we are literally the same person. Like, and I should have known that, because I'm a little toxic. So so we were the same person, and we were fine. And I brought him over to my house, and when he met my husband, things ended up happening, and he stayed over the weekend, and then we all just ended up like having sex, and I didn't want to. My intention actually wasn't to have sex with him at all. He's a cute guy, don't get me wrong, like it's fine, but my intention wasn't that. And we did have sex, and I'm gonna honestly give it like a 5 out of 10. It wasn't that good.
I was gonna say, I was like,
the dick wasn't that great either. I did bottom, which was very weird.
Okay.
I really wasn't consenting about it, but I was like, it's cool, you there already. Like, if my whole thing is, if your dick is not as big as my husband's, it's not gonna do much for me. So I'm just gonna pretend, So
yeah,
it wasn't that.
He's got the facade and the look of a really good time. But I think it should stay there, because the flirting is wonderful. He's a great flirter.
Boyfriend, though. I tried to steal his boyfriend a couple times.
Hey, at least we're self-aware, because we know we a little bit talk. But I think the facade is all there. He's got everything that you would think would be a great time in bed, but I think it's good to leave it there because it's like, you know what I mean? Guessing.
It's only good at the club and when they're like doing all whatever they need to do.
Right. Exactly. But okay, go on ahead, Morgan.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I'd like to think I'm like the gangbang girl, but let's be real.
Yes,
I'm
Morgan,
probably the newbie.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's probably the newbie their first time, right? It's the newbie. But I don't know. Maybe the intro. No, I don't want to be the introvert. That's a little too. What do you think?
I think, I mean, come on, you'd be the mama-san. You'd be like the more experienced.
Okay, yes. The more I got into it really became a lifestyle for me. Absolutely. I'd be like, there's cheese and crackers in the dining room. And if you'd like a drink, help yourself to the fridge. Right. Yeah. Oh, no, 100%.
Yeah.
You would have like a bar cart. You'd have like a bar cart of like snacks and wine. Like,
yes. And the condoms.
Yes.
Yeah, and just like,
like a big bottle of lube, there's like little Dixie cups so you can like squeeze it in and just take it for yourself.
Right.
Exactly. No, exactly. But I could also see you being the BDSM couple. Like if you were to find someone who, because let's be real, Morgan is very dominant. Whoever you find, I don't think they're going to need to be like a quote unquote submissive, whatever. Cause that's like, can be toxic to have those types of labels. But I do think that in this situation, you would be very much so like telling your partner what to do. Like, okay, like, wait, okay, that's fine. Like I could very much just playing with it just to do that. Because in this like dynamic, let's be real, everyone is going to be a dom and sub at different times, right? Like you're going to have to kind of go back and forth with these, but I could definitely see that being a little bit fun for you by being like, I'm not sure yet. Okay, fine. You can do it. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh yeah. That sounds great. Yeah. Like telling someone what to do. That's telling someone what to do. I'm like, that sounds wonderful. You're absolutely right. Yes. I'm bringing the snacks. I'm hosting the party. Right. I'm telling people what to do.
Yeah.
all favorite things for Morgan. That's absolutely true. Okay. I did not even think about the BDSM couple. That's a good one. That's so true. That's so true. You know what? For Ryann, I was putting you in the gangbang girl, but I was probably putting you in the squirter. You're pretty open. You are pretty open.
That is very true. I honestly read that and I was like, sexually liberated, in tune with her body, can cause a yeah, that's me. Yep.
Yeah.
As long as I'm like freshly shaved, I can do that. I can be that girl. Yeah. Otherwise it's just like a little trickle. But but no, I could totally be that girl. And I also, this is the thing. So every time like I've seen like squirting in like porn and stuff, I was always like, is this real? Like, are you just peeing? I can't really tell.
Maybe you could explain it to me a little bit because I get it, but is that like the client? Like, of course, I'm just assuming that it's like us coming is like that. But this is my thing. I've just recently explored the fact that when I have sex with my husband, sometimes I'll have multiple orgasms, but I won't come. Obviously, it's just an orgasm, and people think that just because you're coming means you're orgasming, which is not the case. So, is that like your ultimate orgasm when you're squirting?
Yes, basically. So it's similar to because you're right. Like even though like if you've seen any videos like with edging or anything, right, where like the guy might come, but it's just kind of like a release, right? He's like, oh, it's been feeling so good that I need to release it, right?
Yeah.
But with squirting, it kind of is the ultimate orgasm, but it's kind of just an extension of like, I've already reached the climax and you're just like really pushing me over over my edge. You know what I mean? And you really have to be intentional about making a girl squirt, in my experience, because there's like a point like after you orgasm, right? Like, so it feels really good. But if you like stop for too long, you've kind of missed your opportunity to squirt, like, because like you kind of have to keep really going at that level, right?
Oh, so you have to like have an orgasm and then keep going to have another orgasm,
right? To squirt, exactly, yeah. And like so it's kind of like it says, she's so sexually liberated, or whoever it is so sexually liberated and in tune with their body. Like you really have to be able to let go. I mean, even to orgasm in general, you really have to be in tune. Like you really have to like let go. You can't be too much in your head. You know what I mean? Like you really have to kind of like just let it happen. But for women, it does take a little bit more, or just, you know, people with the certain body parts, you know, like having a clitoris, like you have to make sure that you're just like letting go of everything, you know, and just like letting it happen. And so, yes, I could be the squirter. I could be that girl.
Period.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
It's messy.
Well, if I'm the mama son,
so.
I'm gonna have to clean up after you.
I was gonna say
maybe
yeah.
I don't love that.
I was gonna say it's a bit messy, but you know, we're all here for the party. You know what I mean?
I love it.
No, I was gonna say I could see Drew being the mama son too. He's a great host.
Yes,
he's a great host. He gets.
Does he not want us to talk about it? We don't have
we can. He loves it. He's popular. My husband is very popular. I'm popular, but he is like, he just automatically gives big dick energy. He like literally like breathes it. So like anytime we walk into a club or any sort of thing with a whole bunch of gays around, they literally like squirrel, like, and they literally look at him. So
true.
He would be like the mama son, but he would be the one. What's the one that's literally sticking their dick and everything?
Oh, the sex athlete.
The sex athlete.
Yes, the sex athlete. He would be the
very
sex athlete.
Determined.
Yes. He will do what he got to do, and I love that for him. I used to be like, babe, we did that. Like,
right.
Like,
Drew is definitely the machine. Like when we go out, like Drew is like getting us from club to club. Like he is the one very in the front. Yes, this is the crew. Okay,
we're all in the middle of the dance floor.
Right. Yeah.
And every group needs that, or else everyone's gonna be standing around like kind of buzzed. Just is it this way? Is it that way? No, you need someone to like link hands and go.
Exactly.
We got the group.
Me and Eli
it's time to move.
Yeah, me and Eli would find deep conversations somewhere for like
my God. Yeah.
But Drew's like, we're right here to dance. Like, do you hear the song? And then I'm like, oh right, the song. Yeah, let's party.
I'd be making out with someone in the corner, someone like that, Eli, and I'd be like, oh, all right. Like
annoyed. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yes, okay, wonderful. This has been an incredible conversation, first of all.
Wait.
Oh yeah.
I got a question for you.
Oh.
How many people have been in an orgy that like what's the most that have been in?
Oh, that like have been involved?
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. Whatever. So the first time, and Morgan, you can correct me if I'm wrong. So the first time that we kind of engaged in like we call like the beginning stages of an orgy was we were in a hot tub. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we were in a hot tub. And we were all taking like shots or whatever. And then it just became a game of like, I don't know. I think the alcohol was gone. And so it was just like, oh, kiss the person to your left or something. Do you remember?
Yeah. I don't know how it got started, but it definitely,
it was like 8 of us or something, or like, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe 7.
I think it was 7.
7. Yeah, I think it was 7.
It's a good number.
It was a good number. And it was, so, you know, like, that's the thing. Like, we all ended up kind of like separating off, right? And like kind of just going and doing our own thing. But while it started, like, there were no bounds. Like, it wasn't like, oh, this guy kisses this girl. Like, our friend, very flamboyant and gay, was making his rounds around that entire little hot tub.
That's true. That's true. And the straight boys that were in there were
doing it too.
We're open and willing. Yeah, with each other.
Is this who I think it is?
Not the boys, not the straight boys, but the flamboyant gay man. Yes.
Yeah.
Love that for him. Come on.
Our listeners know him too.
Oh yeah.
His name's Jose.
I wasn't sure. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
He's my favorite. I miss him. I just love his hugs.
I know.
He usually loves the shout out, but I don't know if he's gonna like our little confession on that.
That's why I wasn't sure. I was like,
right. We'll see. We'll see. I'm sure it'll be fine. But the thing is that like, yeah, it was very like spur of the moment. It wasn't like we all planned to do this, but at the same time, it just like really showed me. I mean, we kind of already knew this about each other, but like it just showed me that like if you get people comfortable and people feel safe and comfortable, there's no telling what will happen because everyone is curious. Like, let's be real, everyone's curious, and it was really fun. But yeah, we all just kind of split off. So I think that was the only time. Wasn't there another time? I feel like something else kind of happened one time, and I can't remember.
Ryan and I had interesting experience in Mexico.
Anything in Mexico is a good story. Like they're already starting off great.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So her and I met some people and went back to their room. So there was a total of 4. There were a lot of things happening, not all together at once, but there were many people in many different areas pieces of the hotel room at different times.
Yes.
There were the balcony, the bathroom, the bedroom, the balcony again, you know?
Yeah, the balcony. No, exactly. And it was really kind of funny though, because who we met was a girl and a guy. And he was very much so thinking that them two were just going to go back to their room together and just like have a wonderful night. Like he was really ready for like that last night in Mexico with her.
Oh my God.
But homegirl was like not about it, but she wasn't against it. She was just like, but there has to be more involved.
Yeah.
That's all I really remember.
Give me some
like
more spice.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Girl, she got it. And so yes, exactly. So there was 4 involved, only one guy, but I definitely think that the girls in the situation, like we were way more fun than he was. He wasn't really like, he wasn't really doing all that, you know, he was like thinking he was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he thought he was like the nucleus, and he was definitely more of like the cuckold, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's really true. Yeah. And then they ended up being on our flight home. So that was a really fun, like run in after, be like, hey, remember?
Right.
Like we thought we were never going to see you again. And then now we have to spend the next 6 hours together.
And I just thought, just a side note, I just like knew because they were younger than us. I was like, oh, she'll be like head down, like, oh, hi. Homegirl wanted to like go play by play with me. And I was like, I mean, this isn't a bad idea. I mean, you're gorgeous. So I'm not like mad at it, but I'm also like, I don't really know how well I feel to go through all these details with you right now.
Right.
Because, like,
right. We're like nursing like 5-day like hangovers and like. Exactly. Luckily, we all got split up, so I wasn't sitting next to them. Ryann got stuck near her, and so she's like, Morgan, oh my God, I can't believe this is. And I'm like, what? I'm so sorry. I don't know you. I don't know you today. Like, no, don't pull me into this.
Oh, that was hilarious. No, that was a good time. Yeah, that was a good time. So yeah, those were our situations. And again, it just let us know, like, yeah, we're definitely down to clown. We're down to have fun. But it just has to be right, you know, like if the vibe is right, like let it happen. But if it's not right, like don't force it. You know what I mean?
No, not at all. The thing I love about you two is that you have been in sexual experiences before. And I think that like a lot of my relationships that I have as friendships, I like are obviously gay men. And I feel like I've hooked up with at least like all of my friends once. And I just feel like that opens up the door to really be comfortable with each other and really like have that. There's been times where I've been friends with someone and then I've looked at them. We were at a party and I was like, I think it's time. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, let's just make out. He's like, make out. I was like, yeah, like we haven't yet. So why not? And we like just made out. And we were like, that was great. And then we just like kept it pushing. But like, I don't think you guys are that comfortable enough to like know that like, you know, it's okay. Like, you know?
Oh yeah. Okay. So first of all, that was just like orgies with other people. So me and Morgan and Jose have kissed each other quite often.
I love that.
We were big on like raves and music festivals for a while.
Oh my God.
So you know what party favors go along with music festivals and raves, then you know that to keep that high going, you need a little physical touch and the lips just happen to be a very erotic place. So we've went there multiple times. I didn't even think about that. I was like trying to think about the times where it involved other people.
No, you answered my question, but I would just snowballing off of that.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What do you think you've learned? I know we've covered it, so you don't have to go in depth about everything, but what do you think you've learned about people and your sexuality through orgies? Like what, if you had to like maybe give a few like things that you've learned about yourself or sexuality, what would it be?
I am a freak. That's just who I am. I really just kind of
gangbang girl.
Yes.
I'm over here. Just call me.
Find that Twitter.
And no, I've just been very more open with myself, and like in different orgies too. Certain people are just very forward, and there's gonna be those forward people that just want to fuck and do that, and then there's some people that you're going to have a good time with, but also don't put yourself at any high expectations of something, because porn is very different from real life experiences, and every dick you encounter and every pussy you encounter and all that is not going to be great. So just take it for what it is, use it what you can, and if you don't like it, leave. You can say no. So yeah.
Yes.
Consent. Exactly. Yes. No, I love that. That's so true. Yeah, let porn be what it is. Like, you shouldn't be disappointed that people aren't like porn. Like, let that be a fantasy. Porn. Right, exactly. Some things are great in fantasy. It doesn't mean that if it doesn't work out in person, it's like, it's not a bad thing. It's just, I like to have porn just be porn. You know what I mean? Exactly. Like, I'm not trying to compare that. And I think you can get in trouble, you know, especially if you have like an intimate partner or just partners. Like, if you're trying to like match porn to like what you're going, you know, what you're doing in real life, it's not going to work. Yeah. You're like, you're kind of lessening both experiences, right? Because now you're like sad that porn isn't like what you thought it was going to be. Like, just let that be the fantasy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just let those things be those things. So yeah, I totally agree on that.
Yeah. I think Eli said it earlier, like, your expectations, like, you're going to be disappointed if your expectations are unrealistic.
Exactly.
So don't put that pressure on it. Just enjoy the experience.
Right.
And you can say no.
Exactly. Girl, if you don't like the way someone's sucking your dick, you can just be like, I'm sorry, I gotta go. Like, and it may hurt their feelings, but they will get over it. Like, they will find another dick to suck. So don't be that.
There's always another dick out there.
There's always. There's plenty. Just grab them. You know what I mean? Like, just something.
Grab life by the dicks.
Exactly.
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's wrap it up for some tips for any first timers, for any newbies. All right. And so Eli, you can tell us if these are good, if you have any others to add. So first one, respect others. Kind of a no-brainer, but let's put it out there. Don't get wasted is the next one. So you might end up as the Sleeping Beauty if you've had one too many cocktails.
Yeah, and there's a difference between sleeping because you're tired and passing out. You know, one's a little bit more voluntary, not always, but a little bit.
Yeah, very true. We've already covered this in length, but you can decline. You can say no. You're allowed. No pressure.
No
pressure. Open communication about boundaries. Right? Covered that. Advocate for yourself. So this kind of ties in with the boundaries, like how Eli was saying, if I say no bottom tonight, I'll do other things, but that is my like hard no for this evening.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So be your own hero.
Right. And also, and also if you want to like hop around a little bit, right? Advocate for yourself. Like, if you're feeling a little apprehensive, like, oh, I don't know if I could like be in that group, or, you know, I don't know if I could.
Right.
You probably can.
Right. Yeah. Right.
That's really, really big. There are so many men that I pulled that I never thought I would have sex with or never hook up with, and like mid-sex, I was like, "Oh my god, this is happening." Yeah, you can do it. Confidence is so key, especially when you're confident when you have sex. There's so many people that I know that are sex workers, and they're so nice in person and so gorgeous in person, but they just have that confidence. And like, again, going back to the taboo, like, if you're a freak, and like for me, for instance, if I love to suck so much dick, I'm gonna go to a party and I'm probably gonna suck like 7 dicks, and that's fine. Like live your inner freak if you want to do that. If you want to go to an orgy and do that, be who you want to be. Don't be shy, because half the time these guys want to get off too, and they're more likely going to say yes to you, unless, again, if they say no, again, there's another dick that you can grab.
Right.
Absolutely. Right. And we have a whole episode on body count. And people feeling shame about worrying about your number.
No shame.
I mean, how many people can you fuck in one night? You go to a group sex party, you go to an orgy. Watch out. You better knock your number out the park. You know what I'm saying? So, but if you want to do that, then live your life. Live your life.
Look, in the words of Mean Girls, the limit does not exist.
The limit does not exist. Good plug in that.
Yes. Love that. All right. Last couple of tips. So take a break, right? Eli said this a little bit. Grab a snack, grab some water, recharge, whatever you got to do. Take a break. Go be the cuckold for a while and enjoy the view if you need to, right? We've also touched on this, practice safer sex. It's always still your responsibility to protect yourself, and you deserve and have a right to do that. So if you are partaking, see what's available to you in the safe sex department.
Yes.
And last one, no photos without permission. So.
Right.
So yeah.
But without permission. Okay. Got it.
Yes.
Without permission, absolutely not. I said, girl, I could be selling that myself. Do not take that picture.
Right. That's right.
Unless this is a collab. Then
right. Yeah.
Queen.
Love that. Tips from a real TikToker. That's all I'm gonna say.
You don't even need to be a TikToker. Unless you guys live in LA and you will be a pro.
I love that.
So the final question, the big question, are we doing it wrong? So Eli, do you want to tell us, is there a wrong way to be doing this?
Absolutely not, girl. Like, just fly your freak flag out. Like, I want to know. After this podcast, I want people to send me letters about their orgies and be like, experience what they experience. Because I just want to hear it. You know what I mean? Like, I just want them to live their lives and be what it is. There's no wrong way there's a wrong way of certain things, but there's no wrong way really to don't think there is, because then you're going to go in that bad mindset. You know what I mean? But just don't use teeth when you're giving head. That's my only rule. But
okay.
that's a wrong way
solid tip.
Yes.
Solid.
Yes.
Right. That's
like a universal rule for like gays,
for life.
Anybody. For life. Yeah.
Right. For life. Exactly. Never going teeth first.
Yes.
I didn't even know that was a real thing until I was talking with my partner about it. He was just saying that somebody he met when he was younger and they like used teeth. And I was just like, use them? Like, why would those ever come into play? Like,
some people are just not there. They just think they're going, and it's really scraping, and it's not a thing.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Use teeth though. It's not that makes it sound like they were like it was one of their techniques. Yeah, like I keep this little trick in my bag for someone I really like, you know? Yeah, yes. They just start like nibbling on it.
No, exactly. That was exactly it. Because I thought it was maybe just like a oopsie, you know, but he was like, no, she thought that it was like a little bit of like pain play kind of thing. And he was like, no, I do not. This is not like twisting nipples. Like, it's not the same thing.
I'm referring to people that just don't know how to give head, and they and that's bad. But you know, some people are into that though.
That is true. No, exactly.
So it might be
yeah, because even like people like you've probably kissed somebody that like use like bit too hard, and you're like, okay, there's a line of sexy.
Don't kiss a lot of people because people don't know how to kiss. And it is the most frustrating thing to me. If I kiss you and you just are tongue first, girl, get that fucking wet ass tongue out my mouth before I fucking slap you. That is very true. A lot of people do not know how to kiss, which is why it's like, I guess just get to the sex, because this isn't
right. You're like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. You're like not on the mouth, you know? Yes. Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No. Fair point. All right, awesome. So last thing to wrap it up with, you know, we said, are we doing this wrong? There are a few ways you can. And I found this article. So it was an article in the New York Daily News, and I'll just read you the headline. Nearly 200 arrested at underground swingers party in LA amid COVID crisis. So
they didn't give a fuck.
They wanted to fuck. And so they went to a swingers party. So in that sense, you can't do it wrong. So maybe COVID has thrown off the orgy accessibility, we'll say.
I think they should just require a COVID test and vaccination card at the door. So then when you want to host an orgy, you can still do it safe. Right. You can still do it practical. Just, do that. And you gotta, it's hard to really see which ones are fake or not. But, for the most part, everyone has a vaccination card.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that is true. And again, I mean, I hate the term, but like new normal, right? Like things are going to happen.
Yeah.
I think it's wild that all of them were actually arrested. Maybe this was like right at the height of COVID, like maybe 2020-ish, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But even still, I do understand why it's like, oh shit, that's wild. But at the same time, new normal, like shit's bound to happen. If people are going out to restaurants, people are gonna have sex. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Exactly.
So
oh yeah.
But anywho, thank you so much, Ely, for coming on our podcast. This has been so much fun.
It's been so fun.
Yes. And please let the viewers and listeners know where they can find you on social media.
You can find me. I just started a brand new podcast called Regina Got A Podcast. You can find me at Regina Got A Podcast on Instagram and Regina Got A Pod on Twitter and Regina Got A Podcast on TikTok. And then,
okay.
And then just for my regular stuff, it's Ely Thorel, THOREL _ on Instagram. Nice. That's all you need. You don't need anything else. On TikTok and TikTok too.
Yes.
TikTok and Instagram. So ELYTHOREL.
Yes, love that. Thank you so much. And this has been so much fun. One, because you are our first guest, but we really need to start it out with a bang. You know, like this is such a fun way to dive into some good conversation, but also to just like really feel confident in the fact that we have this podcast because we want to talk about things that people don't like to talk about or, you know, don't so much. So we're here for it.
We're trying to create a space where people can have these conversations. So we are more open in the hopes that we can build this community to give people the space to do the same. So on that note, everyone send us your orgy stories. We want to hear it. Send them to Ely too. He, you know, he said he's nosy. He wants to know the dirty details.
All of them.
So let us know if you're a gangbang girl, if you're a squirter, if maybe you're the sleeping beauty and you just need a nap. Whatever the case may be, we want to know. Right. Yeah. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will be back next week with a brand new episode. Like Ryann was saying, we are featuring love and sex this month for all of February. So lots of good stuff coming up. We hope you rate, subscribe, and review wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Wrong the Podcast. And check us out on YouTube for the visual conversation.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.